welcome to a very special episode of Hook Cook's Continental Breakfast, the improvised world-building podcast guaranteed to feed a hunger you didn't know you had. I am Mitch the Monster Chef.
My name is Dishbot, and tonight I will play the role of Jack.
Hey, Vinny, the Saucy Spicerer, and I'm back. I got invited back on the show.
2 in a row.
I'm back in the seat, back in the saddle.
New world record.
I'm back in black. I'm
back in
backing
black.
it up.
Yeah,
You're back, and we're glad to have you. And getting less glad every second. That's right. Welcome to our show where we are lovingly handcrafting a continent one country at a time. Join us here in the kitchen as we take a random prompt, add a few secret ingredients, and turn it alchemy-like into a country ready for you to explore. Now, as you may know, our fellow chef Connor has taken some time off to head across the seas and visit some of these intriguing new continents. I'm being told by our hardworking tech team that the connection is a little choppy, but it's the best we can do. Can you hear us, Connor? What are things like on the ground?
Yes, I can hear you, Mitch, but I wouldn't say on the ground so much as on the blubber. That's right, your friendly lot of critter is here in Deadfall, land of the spirit mists and demonic sky whales. Oh, and thanks again for the assignment, by the way, boys. You know I love a challenge, and free diving onto the back of a demon whale is a real feather in my cap there. Cheers, and man, oh man, is it hot. The local warlocks are in high spirits, though. You might hear them potting away in the background here. Let's see if I can say hello from the Hook Cooks team.
Chug.
Hello there. Do you have a moment there, my friend?
A new soul dares to draw breath in our presence. Speak, mortal, before the abyss swallows your feeble words.
I was just wondering if you could tell the fine folks back home what the cause of your celebration is this fine, smoke-choked eve.
We rejoice in our liberation. In chains we were born, but through fire and blood we shattered the false order. We tore through the veins of reality, dragging the great abominations from their slumber to fuel our endless dominion. This world is a corpse, and we are its conquering rot. Drink, worm, drink, and witness the dawn of oblivion!
Well, I might actually abstain from the bubbling cauldron of mystery fluid tonight, lads. Had a bit too much of the, screaming elixirs last night, you see.
Then be gone, frail flesh, and leave us to our exaltation!
Right. No trouble at all. That was... well... that was a rather intense warlock, laying bare the grand truths of doom. Looking forward to wherever you send me next. Back to you, boys.
Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, my God.
Oh, that sounded terrible.
It's bad there.
Well, with that horrible or beautiful audio out of the way,
It's kind of like Schrodinger's podcast. You know?
Schrodinger's podcast. And that's what I say to all the people who I recommend this rate to. Rate it out. It's like
terrible.
Schrodinger's podcast.
It's like Schrodinger's podcast.
It both is and is not until you listen to it. On that note, those of you who are and are not until I speak to you, my chefs, my BFFs, let's get cooking. Jack, What is the prompt this evening?
This evening, the prompt is Hungry, Hungry Harbour.
Hungry Harbor!
That's it. Who's ready for Hungry Harbors? I think there's a lot of fun in this one.
Yeah, this is
Looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah. Anyone got any fun stuff to start us off with? Anything a little bit funky, perhaps?
A little going off in the back of the shelf.
Yeah, I can kick us off with something that's not so fresh. Something that was perhaps best before yesterday. Hungry Harbour. This is the name of my charity, which provides support for hippos addicted to eating tiny little white balls.
Okay.
Sad. Very sad.
I mean, it's devastating what that parlor game has done to the hippo community.
Yeah, I know.
It's really worldwide have been shaken.
Yeah.
You are making a change in the world,
That's
Jack, and I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Mm. Well, what do you got that's nasty? Show it to me.
All right. Well, then, acknowledging the Harbour as being hungry, but not in any way evil, is step 5 in my 7-step program to treat fear of water and drowning in recent survivors of boating accidents.
Okay.
Actually, a little too real. A little kind of. I was expecting some whimsical joy here, but
I mean,
what is?
Nah.
I mean, hey,
trauma responses.
It's trauma response, addiction. It's all the heavy hitters on this here comedy podcast.
All right, I got some lighthearted garbage for you all. Are you tired of your boring, mundane cookups that are overly dry and safe? Does your belly rumble for adventure, danger, and all-you-can-eat seafood? Well, come on down to the Hungry Harbour! Our fishermen are out risking their lives day in and day out to bring you the freshest seafood from our very own mysterious carnivorous body of water. Only 2 out of every 3 fishermen return, so you know that our seafood is the best if we're accepting losses like that. And try our new Hungry sauce, made up of the mysterious ichor and drippings that we get off the fishing boat decks. Come on down to Hungry Harbour, where the only thing more voracious and insatiable than you is our murderous bay.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question.
Yes.
How do I know that the food that you're serving is not just dead fishermen? It sounds like the majority of what is in the harbor is.
Also, I do
dead fishermen.
Ask Vinny that this is actually not that much better than addiction and trauma, really.
It's great. Wouldn't you love all-you-can-eat seafood?
This is lighthearted, Vin. Thanks. Think about the working man.
Yeah, just doing it to be food on your table.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, dude.
Fresh from the ocean to your plate. Boot.
This one had a toe in it.
Organic.
All right. Should we move on over to the main submission this week?
Those business.
Delectable little amuse-bouches out of the way. I'd love to see what's the main plate-ups for
all these sausages in a blanket have been gobbled up. Let's dive into the meat and potatoes and the details of this week's country, which each come up with a pre-prepared segment covering one of 3 themes: people, place, and environment. We'll give what we've prepared a bit of a dramatic read and then simmer it all in a big old pot with the aim of summoning up a sovereign stew. Who would like to kick us off?
I can jump in. I can jump on that grenade.
Minnie, please present to me. Sorry, not with me. I'll do mine later. Your meat and potatoes.
Yeah, I'd get stage fright if we did it together.
Yes.
Well, for my meat and potatoes, I am talking about the environment that was inspired by the prompt Hungry Harbour. One does not simply swim into the Bay of Biting. Its black maw is guarded by more than just sharks. There is evil there that does not sleep, and the great tooth is ever hungry. It is a tidal wasteland, riddled with weeds and salt and sand. The very water you swim through is a poisonous flood. Which is a real shame, because twice per year when the tide hits just right and the shark gulls have flown south for the nesting season, the inky black sand is host to one of nature's rarest spectacles, the shuffling, suicidal march of the gemback penguins, who, in a beautiful glittering procession, 1,000 strong, walk down the shore into the water, and mouthful by bloody mouthful are torn asunder by the great tooth. Unfortunately, due to recent spikes in poachers seeking the valuable hides of the gemback penguins, the great tooth is feeding less and less every year, and concerned citizens in the area are reporting that the entire bay appears to be very slowly shifting along the coast in search of food.
Okay, nice. I was a little worried we were heading straight down that narrow horror path yet again, but I love the shifting bay. I love the suicidal march of the penguin.
Yeah.
It's fun for the whole family. Come out, see the suicidal march.
Happy Feet too.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's a self-sacrificing loop. Nature finds a way.
I do realize, Vin, that my meat and potatoes is very similar to your best before yesterday.
Yeah, and my meat and potatoes is very similar to someone else's best before yesterday. I kind of knew that this dance was going to happen.
Oh, well, perhaps I shall be not remiss in saying then, Vin, would you please present aforementioned meat and potatoes upon to us?
Present them I shall. Here we go. I got the people portion in today's Lucky Dip. In the front, the place is cold and uninviting. A squeaky sign, rusted from sea spray, reads, O'Fairley's Place. Some stout labourers litter the room, chewing on scrap, drinking watered-down, barely fermented brews. There's an accordion player in the corner, hoping for a single coin for the night. But behind the bar, through the swinging doors and down past the larder, the real meeting is beginning. Several large bodies, covered in worn and patched denim overalls, standing around a warm hearth, cups of wine clutched in thick, calloused hands, and commanding voices driving conversation back and forth. Those feckin' dock workers have really put our balls in a vice. Me ma and kids be scrapping over the smallest little bit of dough. We can't stand for this shite. These bleeding bastards can't control us no more. The last time we was out in the yard, all of us together, the very best they could do was throw a handful of pellets between us. I mean, I'm sorry, O'Fairley, but I had to take what I could to feed me and mine. They've got us at each other's throats. We are not enemies. They are our enemies. No more will we stand for being treated like this. They squashed us under their thumb just because they control the flow of pellets into this town. Well, time to take matters into our own hands. O'Fairley's tusk-like teeth clink against his cup as he downs the last drops of precious wine. Out of his back pocket, he pulls a pair of brass knuckles and slides them onto his weird hoof-like hands. Rally up, boys. It's time to kick some hippo ass. Okay, so picture this. Hungry hippos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the hand that drops the pellets is the ruling class.
Mm.
Did you ever think maybe it was actually an allegory?
Yeah.
All along.
Wow, okay.
I mean, making light of hungry hippos in today's climate might get us cancelled. I've done so much work, with those hippos.
You really have. That
them.
charity you've been running has really been lifting them up.
But I do love an anti-capitalist sort of message to throw in.
It's very anti-capitalist. There are working class people who've been driven to the point of near starvation, and they're fighting with each other
fighting
for
those little white balls.
And what I'm really enjoying is the sort of Street Sharks-esque hippo anthropomorphic human that I'm imagining now. It's it's pretty gross, but also you would not want to fight with these hippos.
Like you pan out, and what was his name? O'Leary or
O'Fairley?
O'Fairley, and it's Vin Diesel with his hand up his ass. It's good. I love that. Really like.
All right. Okay. So now that we understand a little bit about the people of this place, Jack, I would love if you could present to Mitch and myself your meat and potatoes.
Sure thing. I was working on the location this week. Stinky Jim and Young Patch huddle closer to the wildly ill-advised fire on the main deck of the ship, pulling roasted marshmallows from the tips of their bayonets and sucking on them greedily. Next to them, the dread pirate Captain Gumbeard stretches and sighs. Well, you boys had better get to ye bunks. It's getting late. Oh, please, sir, can we hear a spooky story? Oh, I don't know. Last time ye didn't sleep a wink afterwards, Stinky Jim. Please, sir. Fine. I'll tell ye the spookiest story ever heard by any pirate that sailed here on the 17th sea. I'll tell ye of the hungry Harbour. Now ye might be asking, how can a mere harbour be spooky? How indeed? At first, the hungry harbour looks like any other quiet island cove ye may have come across.
A safe spot to drop anchor, bury some booty, and mark X on a map. As you pull in, though, you feel it. A tug on the rudder, a rogue rip in the tide. Then you begin to hear it. The rustle and gurgle of vast amounts of water crashing and slapping against the rocks. And finally, when it's already too late, you see it, hidden amongst the rocks of the cove, a giant whirlpool, and nestled at its center, a great pair of gnashing teeth, ready to suck in even the grandest and mightiest of vessels. So be wary, boys, on the morrow when you're perched up on that crow's nest. The hungry, hungry harbor is out there, and its next victim might be you.
Oh, gee whiz! That's a spooky story,
not sleeping tonight, Captain.
Please, sir, can we have some more spooky stories?
There you go.
All right.
Spooky tale indeed. There's definitely a lot of through lines here.
Yeah. I'm seeing it coming together. Right, we've got sort of a sea-bound locale, which is it's sort of inherently murderous. I think there's a sort of certainly a hungry flavor to it. Perhaps it's sort of the merging of our kind of ideas there, Mitch, and even all the three of our ideas are sort of kind of melting pot. Like I like the idea that it is kind of like pirate themed.
Yeah.
In a way, like it's got a bit of hook energy to it. There's like a thing in this bay that's eating stuff that's in the water.
That's probably why the hippos are going hungry.
That's why the hippos are going hungry. There's like the penguins. I like the idea that it's moving as well. It's like not like a single spot. It's kind of like a living thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The way I sort of imagined it was like a cove, but actually like the sides of the cove, that look like rocks are sort of just like the arms of like this big underwater, the great tooth, and it's just like everything that goes in there, just it eats.
And I kind of like the idea that from Mitty's perspective, a little more so than Jack's, that the Hungry Cove it's not like a big monster that's just under the water. It's kind of a little more mystical than that. It's kind of just like
the environment.
Yeah, like the sea itself has teeth and is eating things, or some dark spirit in the area that's a bit less sort of concrete. I mean, like, what is that? Like, is it that the water is sharp in some way and is tearing apart flesh?
I had this sort of visual image when you were describing your whirlpool. And instead of it being at the bottom of the whirlpool, there's a mouth. Like the swirling of you just see teeth in it, and it's sort of like a garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal with like piranhas in the sides of it.
Swordfish.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's very right. Just like it actually spins them around, and
it's being attributed to a huge monster, but it's actually just sort of like the natural behavior of like
the ecosystem of this place. Yeah, it is like built to like rip and like maybe it's like feeding on ships or like feeding on like wood.
Yeah. And whatever it is, it's like migrated to this location and it's just decimating the sea, like the shore everywhere it goes.
And like where it is currently, well, maybe we've got your culture of, hippo people with Vin Diesel's hand up their butt. That beautiful culture that you created in your mind.
His hands up all of their butts.
His hands up all of their butts. That's like on the shoreline there, and I'm trying to think about how we weave in your anti-capitalist message.
Yeah,
maybe that becomes more clear.
It depends on like where we frame our story from. Yeah. Because my anti-capitalist message is it's like the Hungry Bay is kind of more something that is contributing to the problem, but the problem of that story is the working class being suppressed. I feel like we kind of got to focus on one or the other.
Well, I think that's happening, right? In the place that we are, maybe it's like built, this seaside town or whatever, these people are built around this thing because it's good for salvage, right? Like ships run into it and you get like a lot of like driftwood and that sort of stuff.
And if the penguins come through and then all the gems
there's like
or something.
Meat everywhere so you can go out and fish. And, like,
it's a chum.
lots of chum. Like,
Right, okay. So something has happened to this seaside community that has like made a massive food scarcity. So it could be something like they used to be fishing a lot in the bay, right?
yeah,
But now that's not an option because this thing has arrived.
yeah.
And they're managing to get by via salvage and other things.
I don't want it to be that this thing has arrived because the inciting event will be that in our story, right?
Okay,
like, I want it to be more like this is the status quo, like this is the way it works here.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, so I do like the idea that you suggested that like the community have found a way to manage to survive from the leftovers of this thing, right?
Yeah.
It rips boats to shreds, but then there's all of this timber and stuff all over the water, and they just kind of haul it in and sell it.
Yeah.
And like they're constantly salvaging and stuff.
I mean, and they could have always been at the beck of a sort of capitalist overseer, and as things have run out, it's just getting harder and harder.
It's super dangerous to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without
Like-
an et.
We're entering like industrial revolution territory where like people and like kids are being forced to go out into the water to try and avoid the teeth fish to get the stuff.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, I think that gives sort of a pretty good idea of the place that we're working with. Is there anything else you guys want to sort of throw on top of the Eaton mess we have here?
Maybe the pirates. You said you wanted it to be pirate themed, and I guess we can just make the town pirate.
Kind of piratey,
It's a bit Tortuga-ish, you know?
Yeah, I don't need it to be like there are pirates. Like I think the idea that this is like a working bay, and if you know the way around it, you can get in and out, and it's like
I imagine a lot of the hippo sailors would have lost legs to the Great Tooth, so there's peg legs all over the place, probably.
Yep. Yeah.
What? Okay, let me pitch you this. What if we keep it moving, right? Rather than it being in one, because I'm thinking like if I was captaining a vessel and fucking Bermuda Triangle style, every ship that goes that way never comes out, I probably wouldn't go that way.
Yeah.
So like in terms of like keeping it like a thing, this creature or ecosystem of things that are tearing stuff apart is moving, and this culture of people is moving with it. It's like
it's like built like a raft city over it or something?
City sort of vibe.
That's
They're
cool.
like moving with it.
Yeah.
And they're like trying to bring people into it. So it's like a moving harbor.
Oh, and very evil.
The only way that their society survives is by like ships who do not know what they're experiencing.
Yeah, totally.
Oh shit, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they're like a huge, like a big settlement on the water.
Yeah.
They're constantly moving. Right, yeah.
Moving with this like shoal of sharp fish.
Yeah,
we've
right.
got that like
They found some way to just sort of maintain a safe enough distance but always keep up with it.
Yeah. And in this town, like the people that go into the water to get the salvage and that sort of stuff, there's a power dynamic there. That's quite apparent, I suppose.
Yep. And they're always probably dealing with pirates because they'd be the only people who'd be willing to buy all this.
Totally. So like there are pirates that know how to get in there without coming across the fish, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Dude,
Cool.
that's sick.
Okay. Well, let's head on over to the spice rack then and add a little bit of pepper to our provincial pie. On the spice rack, we'll select a herb, which will act as our inciting event. This is a pivotal moment within our country's history, which will form the basis for our conversation. And we'll also pick out a couple of spices or scenarios, which will add a little bit of flavor to the moment in time we'll be exploring. Our inciting event this week is the magic stops working. I haven't really discussed a lot of magic.
No.
I mean, there is certainly some magic.
Some inherent magic in
this
the fish
blender whirlpool going.
Yeah.
Okay, the angles I can see from this are either the ecosystem begins to fall apart and like chaos ensues because of it.
Yeah.
At least in the short term after it happens, some really, really chaotic things happen.
Yeah.
Like affecting the world around them. Or the magic
is the
the
friends
way
we
that
met
the
along
town,
the way.
the magic is the way that the town has been able to survive this whole time.
And it's sort of like this is the straw breaking the camel's back in terms of like labor disputes and dock workers and.
I think they're both valid, right? Like I think something about the way that the people are utilizing this natural phenomenon breaks it. It produces less, or like there are less fish.
They too many ships in at one time, and it just like there's just too big of a crunch, and then the gears begin to break.
Or like they're bringing so much stuff through that there's like so much debris left over that it becomes too crowded, and the shoal of swordfish starts to break up, and so the whirlpool gets smaller. Like that sort of thing. And from there, like production drops and suddenly you've got labor
this
issues.
Very delicately held society just sort of begins to unravel very quickly.
Okay, cool.
Right. Do we want to specify what happens to cause this problem with the whirlpool?
Yeah, okay. What if it was that ships start running on something like oil? That when they get broken up, it pollutes the water. It doesn't have to be oil. It can be like a fantasy magic equivalent of that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Something changes in the ships that are traveling in the area, and like the first couple of ones that get pulled into this vortex just completely mess it up.
Yeah.
They're running with 50 barrels of oil in their hull, as well as some gunpowder or whatever.
Yeah.
And it disrupts the whirlpool. It disrupts the whirlpool just enough, and the surface of the water is all on fire, and like all of the fish just dive deep.
Yeah, I think
cool.
that's it. Some sort of like natural pollutant causes extreme damage to this whirlpool that was used to just feeding on wooden ships. Now
and people and
it's tearing through like oil and stuff and fucking all the fish up.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is one really cool, crazy, chaotic thing that happens?
Yeah, let's start diving into some scenarios, right? In order to flesh some of that stuff out. So,
hell yeah.
Our first one is Charlatan arrives.
Ooh, I can fix your broken garbage disposal unit.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is like our first, aside from O'Fairley and Captain Gumbeard, Red Pirate
Stinky
Gumbeard,
Jim.
Okay, so our first character shows up.
Yeah.
So, what kind of charlatan?
Some sort of charlatan arrives after the magic has died.
I sort of wanted to be a fake toffee wizard sort of character.
I think like snake oil, magic person, right, is an interesting fit, especially in the climate of labor disputes. Like a person coming in being like, I can fix this for you guys, and like some of them believe them, some of them don't.
I kind of wanted this charlatan to be more focused around the ensuing class war that happens in the floating settlement.
Yeah.
That tries to glue everything back together.
I imagine more rather than trying to glue it back together, this charlatan is trying to pit these two sides against each other and make off with bank. Telling the laborers that they can fix their problem, telling the masters they can fix their problem.
Yeah.
Not really doing anything to fix...
Monorail.
Filling up Monorail. He tells them all he'll build them a...
So Lyle Lanley rocks up.
What does this person say that they're going to do to fix the situation?
Well, see, you got oil and gunpowder in the gully works of your giant ocean blender.
It's a classic oil and gunpowder.
So what you really need for that is like Tide detergent.
I see. You need to, scrubbing all the oil.
Mr. Clean shows up.
Okay, how about let's pull pirates back into the mix. How about, so there's this society that was barely running off of like trying to exploit this natural phenomenon as much as possible.
Yeah.
So when their phenomenon goes away, the society starts to fall apart because they like have nothing to support themselves. They're all going to starve to death, right? So this like super charismatic pirate dude comes up and is like, I will teach you all how to survive on the sea.
He comes to town and he's like, $99.95, you get to come to my pirate seminar. And everyone gets lunch included. And I'll teach you how to make a boat. I think the most effective thing is for him to target the wealthy ruling class, right? To tell them there's a solution for your problem. And then we have the working class be like, that's not going to work, obviously. But the wealthy ruling class invests in that solution. Right. And then before it's delivered, the guy
he just
makes a run for it.
How do we make it more? How do we give him some more character? Make it more interesting?
Well, I think the thing needs to be interesting that he's doing. Like, I think the character itself is kind of an archetype, right? Like, it can fit anything. It's more like those sorts of characters. It's what they do. It's the con that they pull.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Okay, rapid fire con ideas. My first suggestion is he's saying that he can turn the town into like a tourist attraction.
Oh yeah,
and he starts trying to tourist trap up, and everyone's like printing shirts of like the flaming ocean.
Have you ever seen water on fire?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so.
And this is going to be burning for like 80 more years.
Gold mine.
Don't put the fire out.
Yeah, you're in a different like country, and you get this postcard that's like, "Come to sunny, flaming Oceanburg,
flaming seas.
Come to the big hole on fire in the sea."
It's great for the ozone.
That's good. I like that a lot.
That's
a really good one. Did you have one, Mitch?
I was going to say he wants to build a very special boat where they can get in there and row really fast in the whirlpool and get it started going the other direction.
Oh, yeah. Counterflow the whirlpool in a big boat. Do your own whirlpool.
Yeah. Well, you got to like restart it, you know? Like you just need enough, and he just takes the boat.
Yeah.
He just fucks up.
That's good. I was going to say he has one mechanical fish that he's created, and he's like, if you invest in this thing, I'll build a fleet of mechanical swordfish for you, and you won't have to rely on the natural swordfish. But he like shows it in a very like staged thing, and it like someone like pulls the curtain back a week later, and it's like completely busted. Doesn't work.
Right. It's actually just like two goblins inside a big metal flapping
totally.
the legs and the fins and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, all of those are great cons.
I think
he does all three of them, man. He does all three of them.
I think the actual solution is it's 3 charlatans arrive and they each run separate cons.
Seriously,
which individually bankrupt the 3 major companies that work on this floating. That's really good.
Perfect.
Cool.
I love that this is going to like offset the employees of each of those companies. What are you doing? Stop! Put the fire out! No, we've got to roll really fast in that.
It's perfect. They're creating a culture war where one team is like, "No, the fish will solve our problem." The other one's like, "No, fuck the fish. It's boat all day."
And Stinky Jim's just like, "Someone put the fire out."
Oh, fantastic. All right.
Our next scenario.
I can't wait to go here.
Our next scenario is total mayhem ensues momentarily. I think tick, right? So I think
the crash happens.
What happens is all these charlatans pull out on the same day.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like staggered, like some parts of the town have hope. Like, they all get completely conned on the same day.
All of the launches, right? It's like the boat is going, all the fish will be ready, and the tourists will be arriving on the same fucking day.
And they just, it's almost like the charlatans, like, at one point figure out that there are other people on this thing doing stuff, and they're like, well, I gotta get out of here. That guy's actually gonna fix the problem.
When are the tourists coming? Okay, cool. Yep. I just working on my robot fish.
Robot fish. Same day.
Same day. Weird.
Wow. What a coincidence.
Yeah. I'll see you in the next town, bucko.
Okay, so chaos ensues. I guess we don't even really need to dive into that. It's just total societal collapse.
Full sort of systemic collapse of the way that this town works. No one has been putting any resources into fixing the actual problem.
All of the individual like buildings split, and it becomes, instead of like one big flotilla, it's just like a bunch of floating houses.
I love that.
Cannon fighting each other.
Yeah. That's really cool. I like the idea that they like break off the things that tie them together and they start like floating around, and like maybe in that there's some people who've tried to like save the swordfish and they take some of them away, and like, there's lots of like fertile grounds for how something breaking up like that could
and like it'd be really easy to like you could learn a whole lot about this world by meeting a dude in a houseboat somewhere, like, right?
Totally.
You know.
Well, should we slap a name on this locale? What are we thinking?
Okay, are we going to go with post-tourist attraction conman name or pre-tourist attraction conman name?
I think we go pre and then brackets.
Brackets
post, the Incredible Flaming Waterhole.
or pre home of the Incredible Flaming Waterhole.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's pre? Like what is the actual name of this? I guess it would be the town.
Flotilla.
Yeah, I've already had a flotilla.
It's the Harbour, right? It's going to be, or the bay.
Yeah.
They just name themselves after the the ecosystem of fish, like the whatever the bay's name is.
Well, there was the Great Tooth, but
Near Tooth,
New Tooth City.
New Tooth City is bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't like that. Piranitan.
Well, they were like swordfish, right?
Yeah,
so like swordfish is just—it's already a bit of a stupid name.
It is a bit of a stupid name.
Yeah,
sword shoals or like
what about like
sharp shoals?
Fins or scales?
Yeah.
Razorback.
Razorback, although that's like specifically the name of like a category of pig, right?
Yeah, razor pool.
What about manatee waters?
Deadpool. Deadpool.
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
The Incredible Flaming Waterhole.
Kind of addicted to that.
Yeah, I kind of love that. Ryan Reynolds, we're casting.
Razor Bay. What's like is like Whirlpool is Pokemon moves. What's the Pokemon moves where they're underwater? Dive.
TM55. Surf.
Dive.
Surf down.
Tentacle whip.
Water beam.
Water beam.
Hydro pump.
Hydro pump. Razor pump.
Just leave it at hydro pump, man. It's so good.
Hydro pump.
Okay. All right.
Home of the Incredible.
Houseboat City.
Yeah.
Houseboat Bay.
Houseboat City is nice. I like city rather than bay.
I just like Houseboat Bay because of the like boat bay.
BB.
I guess because we were also sort of supposed to come up with a country, and instead sort of just came up with a beach.
Vatican City is a country, so sure.
Yeah, no, good point.
Yeah, great point. Okay, well, I mean, in that case, it's got to be big, right? So it's like,
it's like
it's big enough that if you're standing in the middle of it, you wouldn't know.
The country of it can be. We could name the sea, and we've just explored one like pivotal part of the sea. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it'd need to be something relating to the tooth.
Yeah.
The great tooth or whatever.
Tooth shoals.
Mouth.
Razor mouth.
Maw? Is there something with maw?
Great
Razor Maw Bay?
Razor Maw Bay sounds cool.
It's not like a sea, but
nobody would ever sail through.
Yeah, but they don't know where they're going. The smoke signals. It lures them from afar.
But we're naming an ocean, right? Not a bay.
Yeah, we are. Well, I guess. Like, I don't think it really matters that much. We don't need to like worry about it being big enough. This is a place on a map.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a place to go, or to not go.
Or to not go, because it says Razor Maw Bay, and you want to sail through there?
Sounds safe.
Crazy.
The boat murder sea.
Boat murder sea. Yeah, let's go that way. Do we want Razor Maw Bay?
I reckon we name the city, and I reckon because if it's a point on a map, 60% of Earth's map is ocean, and if you put a little spot on it, it's like
that's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Razormore Bay. Do we like that?
Yeah.
Razormore Bay,
place?
and then the city on top.
That's the name of the city.
So Razormore Bay, home of the
the
incredible
flaming whirlpool.
flaming waterhole. Razormore Bay.
World.
So could you picture that on a postcard written in a way that would make you want to go to it? Because I can kind of picture it, like an attraction, right? It's like, come to Razormore Bay.
The most adrenaline-fueled holiday destination. Now with flaming waterhole.
Yeah. It's like a theme park.
Yeah, but they're trying to make it like a theme park
for dying at sea and being eaten.
On the brink of class war.
Like most theme parks.
Everyone's working themselves to the bone, building this giant boat.
In fact, let's just call it SeaWorld.
SeaWorld. Oh, SeaWorld.
The giant flaming waterhole.
I like SeaWorld so much.
Really. This entire experiment of what we've been doing, I've been fighting against the really silly names a lot, but I think SeaWorld is... SeaWorld
means that we have to acknowledge we're catching it after it's trying to be hyped, right? It's like SeaWorld is the name that everyone knows about it because otherwise nobody...
If you pull up Google Maps pre-election in this place, it says Razormore Bay. Post-election,
SeaWorld.
It says SeaWorld,
home of the incredible flaming waterhole.
Let's fucking put a flag on it, baby. That's a wrap.
Oh my gosh.
Who doesn't want to go?
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Okay. I think that's the podcast, boys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got to say big thank yous.
We got to say some thank yous. We need to leave you. And we need to say some thank yous. So a big thank you to Halizna for our opening theme, and an equally big thank you to Avery Alder, who created the Quiet Year, which we've used as the basis for the world-building game we play each and every week.
That's right. And thank you to you so much for listening to our very silly episode this evening. If you enjoyed your meal, don't forget to tip your servers and leave a rating in the comment section of your favorite podcasting app. And don't forget to check out SeaWorld on your way home. I have been Mitch, the Monster Chef. Are we happy, boys?
Coming at you down the airwaves.
I was in this spot. That's when I played the roller jet.
In response to your question before, Mitty, I am happy.
Looping back.
Yes.
Are we happy, boys? Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
That's it. Three charlatans leaving on the
same. Just each of them with their suitcase stuffed full of dollar bills, waiting for the boat at the departure.
Yeah, everyone's standing in the town square. And there's a giant curtain drawn over its feet, and nobody shows up.
Like a tumble of seaweed.